Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Eric Garcia as the Barca youngster's future could depend on Alonso's potential move to Man United. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Clement Lenglet as Real Betis could move for the Barca Outcasts once they complete 22 million sale. We are going to be discussing on that in much detail. So as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. It seems as if Barcelona will be a hub of activity during the final few days of this transfer window, as Barca appear to be working on finalizing several arrivals and departures as well. Reports earlier today suggested as many as 4 players were still uncertain of their continuity at the club, with defensive duo Marcos Alonso and Eric Garcia on that list. And now it appears that the future of the Spanish pair might very well be interlinked. Of course, indeed, according to Ferran Couriers of Sport, Barcelona will not allow Garcia to leave the club if they manage to get rid of Alonso to Manchester United. The 32-year-old veteran has been offered a 2-year contract by the Red Devils, who will be taking him on loan for this season and signing him for free when his deal with Barca expires in 2024. The left back is understood to be contemplating the proposal from Manchester United, and as such, if he decides to leave, Barca will pull the plug on Garcia's departure. The 22-year-old starlet is attracting serious interest from Girona and is understood to be willing to make the switch to the Blaugrana's local rivals. However, if Alonso departs, the Catalans do not wish to further weaken their defensive numbers and will not sanction the former Manchester City ace's move to Michel's side. Both Eric and Alonso are not regular starters in Xavi's plans at Barcelona. The centre-back finds himself behind Jules Koundé, Ronald Araujo, and Andreas Christensen in the pecking order at the moment. Once Inigo Martinez is back in action, he too could be preferred ahead of La Masia Prуда. As for Alonso, he is currently behind Alejandro Balde in Xavi's preference order at left back and is unlikely to feature regularly if he stays. So an exit for one of the Spanish duos seems very likely, but what appears certain is that Barcelona will not allow both players to depart. Of course, these past few days has been a lot of rumors concerning player exits, which have not been carried out to the maximum. Barcelona are still to cash in on some players in order to balance the fair play, which have bring a lot of headache at the Barca camp. Barca have signed a handful of players: Oriol Romeo, Ilkay Gundogan, Vitor Roque, who will be coming in January, Joao Cancelo, who was finally signed yesterday on a loan deal. Of course, I mean, some decent signings, Inigo Martinez, but we know that majority of those signings did not cost us much. Majority being free agents, apart from Vitor Roque, and of course, Oriol Romeo, where Barca spent something to buy them. Of course, we understand the reason being that the club are going through financial hell. It hasn't been easy for us to get what we want because majority of our first choices have not been achieved. All boils down to financial constraints. So a lot of rumors these days have been talking about player departures. Barca have sanctioned some player sales, but not the way they wanted. Some of them had been on loan, like Nico Gonzalez, like Alex Collado and certain players, but Barca have not adequately done that when it comes to departures. Eric Garcia, who has been one of those players that have flopped, to be honest, since joining Barca from Man City, it doesn't come as a big surprise that he is also linked with an exit. And of course, I think if Barca can look for ways to get rid of him, it shouldn't be coming a surprise. Eric Garcia have not lived up to the expectations. And of course, players too like Marcos Alonso has been crazily linked with an exit these past few days amid Manchester United interest. So it remains to be seen how the window is going to end. But for sure, Barca have to sanction certain number of players because, for example, the Joao Felix operation does not look possible at all if player sales aren't carried out, especially players like, for instance, Clement Lenglet, who has the highest salary among the players linked with an exit. I think his departure will free up more space on the wage bill as compared to the others, which means Barca right now are really pushing to ensure that player sales are being carried out before the window comes to a close at the beginning of next week, which can also facilitate an additional player like Joao Felix, or even possible an additional player like an attacking midfielder, as reports continue to say Xavi is still craving for one. Then on to the final story of discussion. 3 games into the new season, the centre back position surprisingly appears to be Xavi's biggest concern. The Catalan tactician lost star defender Araujo to injury earlier this month, while new signing Inigo Martinez is still yet to receive the medical green light himself. The weekend's game against Villarreal saw Christensen face discomfort as well, leaving the manager with few options in defense. One player who continues to stay out of Xavi's plans despite the setbacks is Clement Lenglet. The Frenchman, in theory, can serve as a backup centre-back for the team, but is far from earning the manager's trust. Barcelona see an exit to be the best solution, given Lenglet's situation, and Real Betis have emerged as contenders in recent days. According to reports from Sport, the defender's move to Real Betis is dependent on Los Verdeblancos' operation involving Luis Felipe. The Seville-based side are finalizing the defender's move to Al Ittihad in a deal worth €22 million plus €4 million in add-ons. The space and funds created by the player's exit will be used to incorporate Lenglet. All eyes are thus on the negotiations with the Saudi Arabian club. If Real Betis pull off the deal, Barcelona can be relatively sure of having found their defender his next home. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.